Who in this group uses TikTok? By a show of fingers, who's heard the news that last week President Biden signed a bipartisan bill in Congress to force TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to sell TikTok to an American owner within 9 months or be banned in the US? Who heard that news? Show of fingers. 7 of you heard that.
I'm in favor of it just because I'm a comp sci major and I dabble kind of in cybersecurity. It's a cybersecurity risk for personal information to be sold to an international company that is not in our region, even more so.
Got it. Okay. 4 of you oppose this. Why? Ethan, why do you oppose it?
I feel like TikTok has done a lot of good for like smaller businesses and creators and provide a lot of opportunity and entertainment for people. And I don't think necessarily it's as much of a security risk as any other app or any sort of risk. I don't think it's like a major like this risk is way more than anything else.
6 of you don't support it. Angelina, why don't you support it?
Because I think there's bigger issues that we have to focus on, for one, and two, it's not really affecting anybody. Like for me, that's where I get a lot of my news. That's where I get a lot of stuff that's informed. And while it might not be all accurate, it might be skewed to one side or not, I still get it's still brought to my attention through social media.
Emma, why do you oppose it?
I know the creator of, or the president or CEO of TikTok has pledged that that app is a safe space for creativity, for smaller business. It's also, I just believe, like TikTok, like Ethan said, isn't as big of a risk as any other social media out there.
Hold on a second. Allow me to play devil's advocate with you for a second. So the Chinese Communist Party has access to a huge amount of data for more than 100 million Americans through TikTok. That doesn't worry you as a security risk to the United States?
Not necessarily, because I don't know what the United States is doing with our own data as well. I just feel like I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, so I can't say I'm 100% certain in anything that is concerning social media.
But hold on a second. If the US government and the Chinese Communist Party both have access to the data, one's not riskier to you than the other?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, you could argue that like the US has more of an incentive to protect and serve me, but I think at the end of the day, they just feed it to advertisers and they sell my data anyways. So
for those of you who oppose the sale of TikTok, do you think that if former President Trump promised to protect TikTok from being taken away, would you consider voting for him if you weren't already planning to? Wow. So 3 of you would vote for Trump if Trump stood up and said, I'm going to protect TikTok. Angelina, you're going to vote for Trump if Trump says, I'm going to protect TikTok?
I'm still not going to vote, but I might encourage others to vote for him.
Okay. It's based solely on TikTok?
Not just solely on TikTok.
Okay. Hunter, you
play into it, yes.
Okay. Hunter?
Yeah, I would say I could see myself solely using that as a way, just because I don't see much different between the two, I guess, Biden and Trump.
Okay, got it. Cecilia, what about you?
I use TikTok every day, so if I it's what I use to relax at the end of the day. So if I didn't get to have TikTok, I don't know. It's just been a part of my life for so long.
Okay.
That I love it.
If Trump said, man, I'm going to make sure that nobody touches TikTok, it would cause the 2 of you to maybe vote for him. Really, this issue matters that much to you. By a show of fingers, who heard the news today that the Biden administration supports reclassifying marijuana from the strictest Schedule 1 classification to the less stringent Schedule 3? Who heard that news today? Anybody hear that?
That was today?
Today, announced this afternoon.
Wow.
Okay, based upon what I described, who supports this move? All 8 of you. Angelina, why do you support it?
Everything is a choice, and people know what they're getting into with the medications that they're on and the different drugs that are out there. and they're all adults normally, legally. So they can make informed decisions based on their knowledge.
Anybody have a different reason why you support it? Cooper.
I think having marijuana as a class 1 drug and looking at the other drugs within that class, like there's a wide disparity between like marijuana and heroin. So I think lowering that class and again, like giving the people the right to use that in a medical sense makes a lot of sense.
Ryan, why do you support it?
Similar to Cooper, I don't think that it's on the same level as heroin. Like, I think it's, if people want to use something like marijuana, which has a lot less effects than heroin to the human body, I think they should be allowed just to use it without being fear of being criminalized.
So how many of you give him credit? All 8 of you do. Okay. For how many of you is this a voting issue? He stands up and says, I reclassified marijuana. How many of you are going to go, yeah, that's a good reason to vote for you. That's a big consideration for me. For 6 of you. Okay. I want you to imagine the election is tomorrow, and it's these 5 people. So you got Biden, Trump, RFK Jr., Cornel West, and Jill Stein. Your 6 choices, you still don't want to, you're not going to vote. Who would take Kennedy? That's 4 of you. Josh, why is RFK Jr. attractive to you?
He just seems, out of the 3, to be more libertarian and a lot less controversial. I think he has a chance to be a lot less divisive and radical than the other 2 and more competent maybe.
Okay. Angelina, tell me why RFK Jr. is attractive to you.
I don't really know the other 2. Also, Joe Biden and Trump also both have chances already, and they're not doing so hot. So,
okay. And Hunter, what about you? What's attractive about RFK Jr.?
For me, it's because he seems more level-headed and middle of the road. Plus, he's the only candidate that I've actually seen discuss housing prices and like my generation's issue with that. And then he's the only one I've heard from numerous coworkers that tell me about policies that he would put in place and stuff like that.
He's not Biden, he's not Trump. I think both presidents have done some bad for this country, so I'd like to see what a non-Democrat or Republican president can do.
By a show of fingers, for how many of you will abortion be a big factor in who you vote for in November's presidential election? A big factor. 7 of you. Ethan, in what way?
I personally don't want to and will not vote for any candidate that is anti-abortion.
I feel like it should be a woman's choice, and it shouldn't be the government should be voicing what we can and what we can't do with our own bodies.
Okay. So hold on a second. Let me just work with you for 1 second. So let's talk about Trump. If he defends TikTok, but he's against a woman's right to choose, how do you make up your mind how you're voting?
I'd probably go towards the woman's right.
Okay.
I could probably live without TikTok, but not being able to voice what I can and can't do would be an impact on my life.
By a show of fingers, who would say that former President Trump is at least partially responsible for Roe v. Wade being overturned by the Supreme Court? 7 of you. Cooper, in what way?
When he was in office, the people that he chose to give positions to or like elect on the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, so it was just like the ripple effect.
Is that the rest of you are going to say, based upon who Trump chose? Okay.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.